Hey there. Alright, so we're at video number 36 overall, but video number 20 of module 2. Okay, let's move on. Let's go back to the trading station. And the next one we're going to talk about is the relative strength index. Okay, so let me just go ahead, go to indicators list, click on delete, close, and let's go ahead and apply the RSI. It's its short name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a black color, and I'm going to make it quite thick, and I'm going to go to the levels. I'm going to use the color for the levels, and I'm going to make those red. Alright, I'm doing that for the colorblind people amongst us. Okay, so then go ahead and click on OK. Don't worry about the period, leave it as 14 and apply to close. And the RSI indicator is basically used to find overbought and oversold areas. Okay, and we have these levels in there that represent the overbought and oversold level. Okay, so here we can see that this is the RSI line, and it lets you know at what point it's at in regards to its overboughtness or oversoldness, if that's an actual word. So excuse me if it's not. So as you can see, as it penetrates the top, what we're looking for is for it to start to penetrate below this 70 line and then go short. And short is basically favouring the bears, all right, or favouring the downwards motion, okay, or a decrease in price. And as it comes down, it hits this 30 line. It is normally best to exit out of that particular point and then wait for a new signal when this black line comes below the 30 line to look for oversold levels, and then look for a penetration back above the 30 line and then go long, or favouring the bulls. Now as you can see, if we were to follow that example, when we go long here, it doesn't really go long for very long. for very long, but it comes back down. So how can we get around this? Well, again, we need to think out of the box, and unfortunately some of the material that you see out there online doesn't really think out of the box or give you those heads up. So here we go. After a lot of trial and error and split testing and finding things and finding these patterns that appear, I'm going to bisect this at 50. Alright, because 20 away from 70 is 50, and 20 plus 30 is 50, so that's the midpoint. So how do we go ahead and find these true buy and sell areas? Well, we can still go short at these particular areas right here when it's oversold, but you really want to be a little bit more careful, and you're better off going short when it triggers here. Alright, this was probably one way, and then we can split test this method by going back in time to see if that comes true more often than not, and if it doesn't, then we change it. Alright, so we go short from here, from that point there, and then when it gets to like maybe even down to the bottom here, or you can again change them, mix it up, or you can close it when it comes back above 50. So from there down to about there was 463 pips over a period of 200 hours. Alright, we're in a consistent downtrend. We can add other indicators to this currency pair here, such as the Ichimoku cloud or something like that, to work out if this is a continuous downtrend. We can get into all that later on when we're mixing around with different indicators. Okay, so let's take a look at the buy opportunity. Here's a buying opportunity right there, and the market does indeed go up. If we actually took the buy opportunity around about there, we would have waited this period and only made like 61 pips. But if we waited when the midpoint of 50 was reached and then got in there, I mean, we would have made 85 in a short period of time. Alright, and then the market starts to come down and it gets triggered right there as well. So when you're working out your strategies to get in and then working out your strategies when to get out, you're going to go, okay, well, if this scenario happens, I've just waited like 40 odd hours for 11 pips. That's not going to, put food on the table, is it? So when you fall into instances like this, you then need to go back and go, okay, what else can I do to maximize the pip gain? And you go, right, okay, well, I'm going to target the next previous high, because this rule always, for the most part, works. Work within your margin of error, human error. So within that margin of error, I would come down, sort of bisect it to around about here and look for a 130 pip target, as opposed to what most people might likely would do is target the top or the very top. So for a 200 or 170 to 200 pip gain, there's no guarantee that that will get hit, but in this instance it did. But I like to work well within that comfy zone. Alright. So yeah, so let's go back in time and let's take a look, see if we can find some other examples. Let's just move that out of the way. Okay, here we have a buy right here, so we can go long and target the next area there for 63 pips. Alright, so let's take a look back. Here is another support line, so that support line would have worked out well. Where was our buy opportunity? Where was our buy over here? Oh, either buy probably would have been okay, but taking a look at this one, this is where the buy opportunity appeared, right there, and it was right in that way, and it went up and came back down. Alright, so let's go for the next one. Remember, because it was too close, so we go for the next one. This one's actually higher. It's actually higher by 24 pips, but it's up, right. The buy opportunity sits right on the bottom of a support line. Alright, it's a support line because of the prices over here were hovering above it, so it's a support line. So now we've got a buy opportunity on the support line. We can target the next previous high, and the next previous high was actually sitting at 86 pips. Okay, here's a sell opportunity. Sell opportunity appears right at the resistance. Well, it is a support line because of the prices are above, but as the prices drop, it now turns into a resistance. So this is that fine line that you need to look at. If this line was sitting around about there, then I would most likely not take it, because it would be more or less sitting on borderline of that support line. But down here, it's a little bit different. Alright, experience will, tell you that over a period of time, so don't really, worry about it too much. But following the basic rule, it does, what I'm showing you here helps out a little bit. Alright, I mean, you can move this 50 line around, and you could possibly move this to 60 and get a second one and move that to 40. Alright, and work out another strategy. You could maybe say when it breaks 40, go long, and when it starts to come back down into the 70 area, you close, and then when it breaks the 60, go short, or the 60 going short doesn't work because this doesn't work there. So again, just play around with them, but for the most part, when you leave them at where the 50 mark is, you'll come off a lot better. Alright, so play around with that, and give it about 2 or 3 days with this particular indicator before you move on to the next one. Alright, so until then, I will see you very shortly in the next video. Bye now.